Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to quickly and easily knit these beautiful houndstooth socks. They're really suitable for beginners who haven't knitted with two colors very often, since the pattern basically repeats after every 6 rounds. What did I use? I used the cotton Summer Uni wool from Starkwalla in 3 different colors. It's 100% cotton, making it really nice and warm for the winter. I used red and white, 150-gram skein of each, and for the black, because of the foot, I need about 70 grams of yarn. For this, I used a matching set of double-pointed needles in size 2.5. And now I'll show you how to make the socks. You start your sock by casting on the required number of stitches. I'm knitting socks in size 39/40, which means I cast on 16 stitches per needle. I would cast on about 2 stitches more or less for every 2 to 3 sizes, also depending on how wide the foot is. The important thing here is that the pattern has to be knitted with a number divisible by 6, otherwise the pattern won't work. For me, I'm knitting with 16 stitches per needle right now, and after this I'll need 18 stitches per needle for the pattern, which works out really well, because the pattern pulls in a bit. But that doesn't matter, because after that I'll just cast on the necessary stitches to get the right number. That means you're really completely free to choose how many stitches you knit your pattern with. I just need a stitch count divisible by 6, and it's up to you how many stitches you use to knit the rest of the sock. Depending on how big, what size you want to knit the sock in, and also how wide or narrow the foot is. That means in my case you'll now cast on a total of 4 times 16 stitches, and then we'll meet back here. Once you've cast on the required number of stitches, your work should now look like this. Now carefully pull the second needle down, making sure you don't lose any stitches. And we'll start with our pattern. We're knitting a double rib for our cuff, which means you'll alternate knitting 2, purling 2. Knit, knit, purl, purl, and that's how you distribute your stitches onto your double-pointed needles. Here's a quick tip to keep your stitches from falling off the back. I always hold them with the back of my hand. I hold them in place a bit, so the stitches at the back don't fall off at the beginning. So, once you've knitted 16 stitches, you just take the next needle and keep knitting with it. This means again you've finished the work with 2 purl stitches, which means you now knit 2 knit stitches again. You do this until you've distributed all the stitches onto the 4 needles. Your double-pointed needles should look like this. Now, here's a quick tip from me, so you can keep knitting nice and easily without any holes. I take the first 2 stitches of my first needle onto my 4th needle, meaning I just knit the first 2 stitches of the first needle, with the 4th needle to close the gap. Then I take my knitting needle again and continue with the pattern as usual, but now I have to start with purl stitches. Now you just knit this pattern nice and relaxed, ideally while watching TV, round after round, always 2 stitches knit, 2 stitches purl, and you do this until you've reached your desired height for the cuff. I've knit the cuff on these socks to a length of about 4 centimeters. Once you're ready, you can click on to the next part and I'll show you how the pattern works. Until then, I hope you have fun knitting. Once you've knit your cuff to a height of 4 centimeters, we're ready to start with our pattern. Or rather, since I have 2 fewer stitches per needle than I need for my houndstooth pattern, I'm going to start by increasing 2 stitches on each needle in the first round. It looks like this. I knit 2 stitches with my black yarn. Then I cast on 1 stitch. It works like this. You have your needle here and go from front to back, right into this free needle, and knit the newly cast on stitch as a normal knit stitch. Then you do the same thing with the second to last stitch on your first needle. Again. Knit all. Second to last stitch on the needle, you insert your needle from bottom to top again and knit the picked up stitch like a knit stitch. You'll do this now for all 4 needles if you've cast on 16 stitches like I did, so that when you start your houndstooth pattern, you have a stitch count on every needle that's divisible by 6. Until then, have fun and see you in a moment. You'll start your houndstooth pattern in the first round. The pattern is knitted over 6 rounds, starting with knitting 4 stitches in black. Then you switch colors and knit 2 stitches in white, and here's a little tip from me to keep your yarn from tangling. I always take the color I don't need as much, which is white in the first 3 rounds, to the right, and I put my main color to the left. You now knit 2 white stitches, after you've knitted 4 black stitches. Always knit stitches. The whole pattern is worked only in knit stitches. After that, you knit 4 black stitches again. And again 2 stitches in white, and it's important here that the white yarn is always carried along the back. But that also means, when you knit 2 white stitches now, try to keep this yarn as loose as possible, otherwise your work will pull together. Knit very loosely here, and then another 4 stitches in black. Repeat this for the entire first round. 4 black stitches, 2 white stitches, 4 black stitches, 2 white stitches, and then I'll see you back here. Round 2 isn't going to be any harder. Now you knit 3 stitches in black. 1, 2, and 3, and then alternating 1 white stitch, 1 black stitch, 1 white stitch. White, black, white. After that, you knit 3 stitches in black again. So you basically always knit 3 black stitches, 1 white stitch, 1 black stitch, 1 white stitch, 3 black stitches, and so on. That's the whole second round. It doesn't get any harder than that, and then I'll see you again in the third round. Round 3 isn't going to be any harder. You start with 3 black stitches again. 1, 2, 3, and then you knit 2 white stitches. Remember to keep your knitting nice and loose. 1, 2, and now pay attention, 4 black stitches. 2, 4, then 2 white stitches again. And again 4 black stitches. 4, 2 white stitches, and you finish your needle with 1 black stitch. After that, you start from the beginning again, meaning 3 black stitches, 2 white stitches, 4 black stitches, 2 white stitches, and so on. Have fun with the third round, and in round 4 you'll switch your yarn strands over, because now your white yarn becomes the main color. You start the fourth round by knitting 1 stitch in black. Then 5 stitches in white. Two, 3, 4. 1 more in black. Be really careful here and carry the yarn very loosely across the back. I always hold it with my middle finger and gently press it down so you don't pull too tight, otherwise your work will bunch up. 5 more in white. Always alternating 1 black stitch, 5 white stitches. That's the whole 4th round, and then I'll show you how to continue in the 5th round. The 5th round actually works just like the 4th, only now we shift everything back by 1 stitch. That means you first knit 1 white stitch, then your 1 black stitch, making sure to keep it loose as you carry it over. 1 black stitch. And again alternating 5 white stitches, 1 black stitch, 5 white stitches, 1 black stitch for the whole round. The 6th round works pretty much the same way. We're just shifting our black stitch over by 1 stitch again. That means in the 6th round, we now knit 2 stitches in white. 1 stitch in black. And from here on, just keep alternating like in the previous rounds. 5 stitches in white, 2 stitches in black. And then you've already finished your 6th round. Keep alternating 5 stitches in white, 2 stitches, 1 stitch in black. Now, you just keep repeating this pattern for as long as you like. For my pattern, I repeated the whole thing 10 times and then, importantly, finished with the 2nd round. That means you knit the complete set 10 times and then finish the work with the 2nd round, simply so that your last rooster in the 3rd pattern gets a nice point at the bottom. Until then, I hope you have fun knitting, and we'll see each other again soon.